Good morning, everybody. I'm Jennifer Lewis Hall. A lot to cover this morning. We start with weather. A coastal flood warning remains in effect down the shore. Now, overnight, flooding was a major problem, not only in Atlantic City, but also further south in Sea Isle City. Take a look at this. This is Pleasure Avenue. Now, parts of it are under several inches of water. The Stakeout in Sea Isle posted this video online. The owners warning people to move their cars away from the flood zone there. And Jenna, heavy rain in and around our region, plus all eyes are on Florence.
Yeah, Jen, our map continues to update, so the track is still uncertain. But what we do know right now, Hurricane Florence is a Category 2 hurricane. So gaining strength here, we have winds sustained around 105 miles an hour currently. Now we're watching the track as it heads towards the coastline here. A Category 4 hurricane by Wednesday around 3 a.m. with 150 mile per hour winds. Now, again, it continues to update. We can see this computer model showing a Category 3 hurricane as it hits the Carolinas come late Thursday, early Friday. Now we can also see Virginia here is in that cone of uncertainty. Now, as far as whether it heads inland and falls apart or it takes a hook and heads up the coast is really what we are watching throughout the week. We could see a local impact in terms of some heavy rain this weekend, but again, that all depends on what happens with this track. So as this becomes more clear, of course, we will keep you posted. Now back home, we are under a flood watch as well as Jen mentioned earlier, a coastal flood warning. So we can see satellite and radar showing that rain move across the region right now. It is starting to lift to the north a bit, so we will see a break in the action. But as far as your morning commute, you do need the extra time. Jen, I'll send it back to you.
All right, most definitely. Well, let's continue our coverage of Hurricane Florence now. Turning right in the Atlantic, the governors of 3 states have declared a state of emergency as the powerful storm continues to barrel toward the East Coast with millions of people in its path. PHL 17's Kyrie Stewart joins us live from our satellite center with more on how people are actually gearing up there. Kyrie.
Well, Jen, this storm is no joke, and officials are telling people to prepare for the worst. All of this while many people along the southern East Coast are cleaning up after severe storms over the weekend. Now, this is video of a water spout that touched down in the Hampton Roads area over the weekend. There was also heavy flooding and even reports that a tornado touched down. Now, there was some minor damage to homes and several downed trees and power lines, but thankfully no reports of injuries. And take a look at video out of Alexandria, Virginia, where crews had to rescue people from restaurants after the streets flooded. Now, some people are calling this weather a wake-up call as the governors of Virginia and North and South Carolinas declare states of emergencies ahead of Hurricane Florence. Now, the National Hurricane Center says that Florence will likely continue to gain strength as it gets closer to the U.S. East Coast. And at this point, it's too early to determine if Florence will make landfall on the East Coast or make an impact to the region at all, but people there are wasting no time to get ready. Pictures of empty Walmart shelves are becoming a common sight throughout the Carolinas. Officials are urging people to get ready now while they still have time.
You know, I grew up on the eastern shore, and I've witnessed a lot of these hurricanes. They're nothing to play with.
People are being activated. I issued the executive order yesterday that allowed a lot of things to happen and to happen more quickly. And we're moving assets and people to the coast, getting people in place to respond to whatever happens.
Now, life-threatening surfs and rip currents are already being reported in Bermuda, so whether Florence stays on track or shifts at all is still up in the air. So, Jen, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens.
Yes, absolutely, Kyrie. Well, closer to home, flooding is a major problem right now. Mobile 17 is making its way up the Atlantic City Expressway. Now, be careful out there during your morning commute. The roads are wet and the rain is expected to stick around for a while. Aaron, that is causing some problems already on our area roads.
Yes, Jen, that is causing some problems. This rain is going to make the roadways so wet, so make sure that you are careful this morning. But right now, if you are taking SEPTA, the West Trenton line is already suspended at all stops. That is due to power outages. So this morning, as you can see on the Schuylkill Expressway and the Vine, we are looking good. But again, if you are going to be on SEPTA Mass Transit, that is suspended on the West Trenton line. Also, this accident that happened on 295 northbound this morning at Route 322 near exit 11 is still causing problems. That right lane is blocked as well as the shoulder. That accident happened earlier this morning again, and there was a fuel spill. We thought that this would be cleaned up by now, but it isn't making any progress. And right now in Brooklawn at Route 130 at Brooklawn Circle, all lanes are blocked there due to flooding. Again, rain is going to be your problem this morning. Jen?
All right, to more of your headlines. Well, students at Upper Perkiomen High School have a week off from school starting this morning. Now, that's because of mold and moisture issues inside the building, particularly inside of the gym. School officials say that crews are making significant changes to the school's HVAC system. Students will make up the missed days throughout the school year. The Broomall Fire Company was on the scene of this nasty crash yesterday morning. It happened on Bryn Mawr Avenue near Darby Paoli Road. Now, police say the rescue crews from multiple agencies arrived to find a vehicle up on an embankment. Someone was trapped inside. It took crews about an hour to free the passenger. Medics rushed them to a nearby hospital. So far, no word yet on their condition. And meantime, this morning, a new Miss America has officially been crowned.
Which means Nia Franklin, New York, you are Miss America 2019.
Nia Franklin, representing New York, was crowned the 2019 Miss America last night in Atlantic City. She was chosen from among 51 contestants in the first pageant to be held without a swimsuit competition in its 98-year history. Now, Franklin notably said that she was glad that she didn't have to wear a swimsuit to win the crown. She is an opera singer and a native of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Miss Connecticut, Bridget Oy, was the runner-up. And in an interview on CBS Face the Nation over the weekend, Vice President Mike Pence told Margaret Brennan that he did not know if someone on his staff was responsible for the scathing op-ed about President Trump. Brennan says the vice president later clarified, saying this.
Let me be very clear. I'm 100% confident that no one on the vice president's staff was involved in this anonymous editorial. I know my people, Margaret. They get up every day and are dedicated just as much as I am to advancing the president's agenda and supporting everything that President Trump is doing for the people of this country.
Well, the vice president went on to say that he did not directly ask anyone on his staff, but says he knows their character and is confident that no one on his staff had anything to do with the op-ed. And longtime CBS chief executive Les Moonves is stepping down. Moonves' resignation comes after new claims of sexual misconduct. A bombshell report in the New Yorker last month detailed allegations of sexual harassment and misconduct against Moonves. Now, Moonves has admitted that he may have made some women feel uncomfortable, but he insisted he ultimately respected no means no. He could earn upwards of $100 million on his way out. Well, tomorrow marks the 17th anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks. After the break, we take you to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where a new memorial 17 years in the making has been dedicated. It honors the passengers killed on the hijacked flight that crashed there. Plus, we are under a flood watch. Jenna.
Yeah, Jen, lots of rain across the region. We can see those flood watches posted as well as the coastal flood warning. So I'll have when it clears up coming up. Stay with us.
PHL 17 Morning News is brought to you by PA Leadership Charter School. PALCS makes it possible.
After a long day at school, the last thing I wanted to do was more work when I got home.
Hey, Scotty, do you want to go to the batting cages?
I wish I could, but I have to get this work done. We decided that we need to spend more time with our families.
The kids weren't being challenged enough in traditional school. Since starting at PALCS, Rainey has become a better reader, and Scotty is jumping leaps and bounds with his math and reading.
Find out what PALCS can do for your child's education.
Mom's gonna kill us.
Gorilla Super Glues. Of course.
Gorilla has a fix for every project. Original brush and nozzle and ultra control gel for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
I was at the end of my rope. I couldn't quit my job, we couldn't afford enough help, and my mother needed care. What I really needed was to be able to take care of my mother myself. So I called Ameribest, and they told me about a government program that pays me to take care of my mother. Ameribest trained me in just a few days, and best of all, it didn't cost me a thing. It made sense. My mother can stay in her home, and I can become her caregiver. Ameribest made it easy and helped me through the entire process.
Life insurance, health benefits, dental, vision, 401k, and excellent pay.
Who has 5 lawyers who are also medical doctors, the most of any law firm in America? Klein Inspector. Maybe that's why Klein Inspector has the most large verdicts and settlements of any Pennsylvania law firm.
CT6 reviews are in. Current non-GM owners and lessees get this low-mileage lease on this 2018 Cadillac CT6 from around $479 per month.
Addiction is an epidemic in America. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, you need to call the R360 Network now.
I'm Ken Seeley, author, addiction recovery specialist, and former addict. R360 is a nationwide network of addiction recovery specialists that I personally selected and recommend.
The call is free, the consultation is free. If you have private insurance, your treatment could be covered with no out-of-pocket cost.
Call 800-222-8716.
Well, this morning, trains are running through the subway station again, nearly 17 years after the Twin Towers collapsed. People cheered Saturday as the first train arrived. The new station is the first in the city to be air-conditioned, and it's also fully accessible and better equipped to handle large crowds. Now, the station pays tribute to its history with the artwork also that includes words from the Declaration of Independence. And the state of Pennsylvania is also honoring the lives lost on September 11th, a new memorial honoring the passengers who were killed on the hijacked flight that crashed into a field in Shanksville. That was dedicated yesterday. Rachel Pritchard was there.
Think about the sacrifice of the 40, which I know it does for me, seems to turn this rain, or as I like to call it, nectar from heaven, into a bright, shiny day.
Despite the rain, friends, family, and community members gathered in Shanksville to honor those who lost their lives September 11th, 2001. Today was the official dedication of the Tower of Voices.
The winds carried their voices, and that made this always a living, breathing memorial. So to have these chimes put their voices in a pure sound that will always be here, their presence is alive, and it's important.
The tower serves as a symbol of strength and courage, reminding us to take action, even in the face of adversity, just like the men and women on Flight 93.
And I look at those 40 heroes as they were our first fighters. You know, naturally we sent people over there to kick some butt, but they were the first 40.
The Tower of Voices stands tall at 93 feet, right at the entrance of the park. 40 chimes inside, all representing each one of the passengers and crew members on board. A final piece, 16 years in the making.
A wonderful way to come to this site and to hear their voices all the time. That's something that we all hoped to have happen, and now it's finalized.
Well, that was Rachel Pritchard reporting. Now, 8 out of the 40 chimes are currently installed in the Tower of Voices. The rest are expected to be delivered and added later this fall. President Trump, accompanied by First Lady Melania Trump, will participate in a ceremony marking the September 11th attacks at the 9/11 memorial there tomorrow. And back to our PHL 17 weather on this rainy, wet Monday morning. Here's a live look at Mobile 17 heading up the Atlantic City Expressway. The roads are wet, so please be careful as you're heading out this morning, folks. Standing by with a look at when the wet weather ends is our Jenna Meisner. Good morning, Jenna.
Good morning, Jen. Unfortunately, it's not anytime soon, but satellite and radar, we can see here this area of low pressure. It's beginning to lift to the north, so the rain will taper off throughout the day, but there's still chances for storms throughout the week and the chance for some flooding as well. So we have a flood watch in effect. That's until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, as well as a coastal flood warning. So during the time of high tide, we could see some flooding along the coast here. So make sure you keep that in mind as you plan your day. Now back home, mostly cloudy skies in Philadelphia. On and off periods of rain. As I mentioned, the rain will taper off a bit. We'll see a lull in the action, but later this afternoon, we are tracking the potential for a thunderstorm. So as you head out this morning, make sure you have the rain gear on standby. Topping out in the mid-70s, our forecasted high for the start of the work week, 74 degrees. Now 71 overnight tonight with the chance for some more thunderstorms. And then tomorrow we're stuck in this pattern. Scattered thunderstorms with a high of 84 degrees. The return of the humidity tomorrow as well as that warm air. So our 7-day on 17 shows again stuck in this pattern. So the chance of rain throughout the week. Now no one of these days is a complete washout, but we will see some showers Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as well as we're keeping a close eye on this weekend and the impacts that Hurricane Florence can have for us locally. Let's get another check of those roadways with our Aaron Dolan. Aaron, it's been pretty busy out there for you. Yes, Jenna, it has. But some good news right now. If you're traveling on SEPTA Mass Transit on the West Trenton line, that service is restored after it was suspended earlier this morning due to power issues. So some good news there. And also some good news right now on I-295 northbound at Route 322 at exit 11. That accident is finally cleared. This happened earlier this morning. We've been tracking it all morning. And finally, you should be good to go on 295 northbound. But also rain is still causing a lot of issues. At Brooklyn at Route 130 at Brooklyn Circle, all lanes are still blocked there. That is going to cause problems throughout the morning, especially while cars are trying to get through that area. Taking a look at your drive times this morning, we are good right now, especially on the Blue Route northbound at 95 to the 76, 17 minutes there. 95 southbound Woodhaven to the Vine, 14 minutes there. Taking a look at the Schuylkill Expressway, you're good in both directions. Jen?
All right, thank you, Aaron. Well, 7 people were injured last night after a man armed with a metal knife and a metal bar went on an attack in Paris. Now, authorities believe that he is an Afghan national and say that he first went after 3 people outside of a movie theater. Now, some men tried to intervene as the suspect went down the street attacking other people before he was actually stopped by police. Officials say the attack is not linked to terrorism. And a Dallas police officer is facing charges after authorities say that she killed a man who was in his own apartment. Now, the cop has since been released on bond, and as John Lawrence shows us, the victim's family and community is demanding justice.
A vigil this weekend for Botham John. The 26-year-old was fatally shot by Dallas police officer Amber Geiger.
We're still dealing in America with black people being killed in some of the most arbitrary ways. Driving while black, walking while black, and now we have to add living while black.
Authorities say John, a St. Lucia native, was in his apartment on Thursday when Geiger entered, mistakenly thinking it was her own place.
We know that although she clocked out, she was still in her uniform when she committed this crime. We know that she used her service weapon.
Geiger was arrested Sunday, charged with manslaughter, and released shortly after posting a $300,000 bond. Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings issued a statement thanking the Texas Rangers for thoroughly investigating this tragic case, also asking the people to pray for John's family. John was an associate at PricewaterhouseCoopers and a worship leader and a Bible study teacher.
He was living, doing everything that you want a young person to do. He had no criminal history. He was an amazing student. He was an amazing citizen.
His funeral is scheduled for Thursday. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Well, still to come, the feud between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B comes to blows over the weekend. What Cardi B is saying led to the scuffle. Plus, the band Paramore says that you won't hear one of their biggest hits in future shows. Rick Demagella explains why in this morning's Hollywood Minute. We'll be right back.
PHL 17 Morning News is brought to you by Buick. Visit your local tri-state Buick dealers.
Here's your Buick, sir. Actually, that's my Buick.
How are we gonna fit in your mom's Buick?
Easy.
I like that new Buick.
Me too.
I was actually talking about that Buick.
I knew that.
Did you?
Buick's fresh new lineup is full of surprises. It's Buick's kickoff event. Get 20% below MSRP on most 2018 Encore models when you finance through GM Financial. Or current eligible lessees, get this low mileage lease on this Encore for around $149 a month.
Hiring was always a huge challenge. Endless hours on job sites with not a lot to show for it. Then, I found ZipRecruiter. They figured out hiring. I post my job, they put it all over the web, and they send me the right people, because their technology is smart. ZipRecruiter often sends me the right person in 24 hours.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/WPHL.
When I first met with this homeowner, I asked her what sort of a space did she want.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
This is awesome experience to have a furniture place like Raymore and Flanagan come out and help those who need the help.
It feels wonderful to know that we're making a difference.
Thank you, Raymore and Flanagan.
Raymore and Flanagan, proudly supporting the communities we call home.
What is service?
It's dedicating your life to others. It's putting people first, not special interests. It's our health mattering more than corporate donations. It's a kid from Marlton who became a national security officer for Republican and Democratic presidents and worked in Afghanistan under Generals Petraeus and Allen. I'm Andy Kim, and I approve this message because service is a representative who puts you first and won't take corporate money. And that's exactly who I'll be.
America, our show Blackish is going to be on 5 nights a week this fall.
Babe! 5 chances to spend time with our perfect family.
A family that communicates. You're gonna actually let us swear?
Oh, but we snot.
You'll get there, sweetie.
A family I'm stuck with. Know what it feels like to be hitched to an embarrassing dope?
This September, see what our family is made of when Blackish is on 5 nights a week.
Amazeball!
Well, some sad news to report this morning. Actor Bill Daly has died. Daly was a staple on TV sitcoms for decades. He played the astronaut Roger Healy on I Dream of Jeannie, and he then joined the cast of Bob Newhart's show. Bill Daly was 91 years old. Well, the time is now 5:51. A classic Burt Reynolds movie is headed back to the theaters. Rick Damagella has that story and more in the Monday Morning Hollywood Minute.
Where are we going? No, don't tell me. Let me guess.
The Bandit is racing back into theaters. AMC will re-release Smokey and the Bandit at 240 locations from September 12th through the 20th to honor the passing of Burt Reynolds. Deadline reports the action comedy was the second highest grossing film of 1977. Billboard reports during a concert in Nashville, Tennessee, Paramore announced they were taking a break from performing their 2007 hit Misery Business at future shows. Singer Hayley Williams said from the stage, "We wrote a song that now, as a 29-year-old woman, I don't know that I'd use the same language. Calling someone a whore isn't very cool."
We need to pray now. And whatever happens, whatever you may see or hear, keep your eyes forward and don't stop praying.
The Nun is a global hit. Variety reports the 5th film in the Conjuring movie franchise brought in $77.5 million at the international box office. Combined with its domestic grosses, the fright flick scared up more than $131 million in its debut. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
Well, meantime, hip-hop stars Cardi B and Nicki Minaj got into a fight on Friday night during New York Fashion Week. Now, the scuffle occurred at New York City's Plaza Hotel when the two were leaving a party. Police were called to the scene, but no arrests were made. It's unclear what led to the fight, but Cardi B wrote on Instagram after the quarrel that Nicki Minaj had criticized her parenting skills. Minaj has yet to comment. Well, flowers and a football helmet. We will explain why this Mississippi high schooler really has her hands full. That's after the break. Stay with us.
Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, babe.
Traffic on the Go is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Philadelphia knows toughness. So does Ford F-Series. Now get an F-150 with $11,250 in total savings plus $750 military and first responders appreciation cash or lease for $199 a month. Ford F-150, official truck of the NFL.
Diamonds at their lowest prices ever. Certified 3/4 carat rings are just $11.90, 1 carat $17.90, 2 carat $29.50 per carat. Thousands of GIA diamonds at insane prices, plus over 50% savings on custom designs. Buy direct, the Jewelry Exchange, Norristown.
Fender biter. Seen it, covered it. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Mom's gonna kill us.
Gorilla super glues.
Of course.
Gorilla has a fix for every project. Original brush and nozzle and ultra-controlled gel for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
When you're seriously hurt on the job, your future is on the line. One wrong decision can affect you for the rest of your life. That's why you need an experienced lawyer on your side. Don't take chances with your future income. The man ran.
Sometimes, bipolar 1 disorder can really get you going. But mania, such as unusual changes in your mood, activity, or energy levels, can leave you on shaky ground. Help take control by asking your healthcare provider about Vraylar. Vraylar treats acute mania of bipolar 1 disorder. Vraylar significantly reduces overall manic symptoms and was proven in adults with mixed episodes who have both mania and depression. Vraylar should not be used in elderly patients with dementia due to increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. High cholesterol and weight gain, high blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, decreased white blood cells, which can be fatal, dizziness upon standing, falls, seizures, impaired judgment, heat sensitivity, and trouble swallowing may occur. You're more than just your bipolar 1. Ask about Vraylar.
I can't believe this day's finally here.
Turner, are you crying? Really?
No, I think something's just wrong with my wipers. Let's go to NTB.
Right now at NTB, buy 3 tires, get 1 free when you purchase standard installation. Plus, get a $50 rebate when you use your store credit card. Only at NTB.
So, Katie's room is open, right?
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Get an Explorer with 0% financing for 60 months plus up to $1,750 cash back, or lease for only $279 a month at your local Ford store.
Flowers and a football helmet. Let us explain this. Well, Mississippi High School senior Kaylee Foster started her Friday being crowned homecoming queen and then ended the night helping her school's football team win the game. She did that by kicking the game-winning extra point in overtime. Now, Foster is the team's place kicker and has been doing so since she was in the 7th grade. Now, she says that her first love is soccer, which she will play next year at Mississippi College. Way to go. Well, turning to a big story now this morning for us here. Our weather, of course, a rough one for us, Jenna. Rain, flooding, and that flood watch in effect.
Yeah, Jen, lots of rain still out there, and it's not going away anytime soon. It certainly felt like fall football weather yesterday, and some of those cooler temps still with us. 56 degrees as you head out the door this morning. So not only do you need the rain gear, but also a light jacket. If we take a look at our day planner here, we can see a steady rise of temperature. So by 9 o'clock, 63 degrees, 67 degrees by lunchtime, 72 by 3 o'clock. Now, on and off periods of rain throughout the day. We could see an afternoon thunderstorm. We're going to top out around 74 degrees with those clouds sticking with us. Now, the chance for a thunderstorm later this evening, we're down to 71 degrees overnight there and 84 degrees tomorrow. So the return of some warmer air and humidity with, again, the chance for some scattered thunderstorms. Unfortunately, our 7-day on 17 showing that unsettled weather pattern sticks with us throughout the week. Now, not one day a total washout, but we will see the chance for showers every day this week. Let's get another check of the roadways now with our Erin Dolan. Erin, good morning.
Good morning, Jenna. Yeah, the roadways are starting to really get crazy, especially with the wet rain. Right now on Route 202 southbound at Swedesford Road in Paoli, there was an accident. The vehicle went off the road. Again, the roads are going to be slippery, especially with the heavy rainfall today. Also, speaking of rain in Brooklawn at Route 130 at Brooklawn Circle, all lanes are still closed. We were hoping this would clear up by now, but it has not, so be careful. And we're also tracking flooding in West Deptford Township, Route 44 and Mantua Grove Road. One lane is still blocked there. But some good news if you're traveling on SEPTA Mass Transit at West Trenton Line. That service is finally restored after being closed earlier this morning. Jen?
All right, Erin, thank you. Well, snouts up. A dog surfathon was held at the Del Mar Dog Beach in California yesterday. More than 70 dogs got to show off their skills on the waves. Now, the event is in its 13th year, highlighting some of man's best friends' best tricks. 100% of the proceeds from the surfathon that benefits the Helen Woodward Animal Center to help orphan pets. Pretty cool. Those dogs definitely have skills. They got what it takes. A lot of fun there.
Yeah, you can walk the dog using the surfboard today with all this rain.
Exactly. Just stay out of the water by all means. That's it for now. Up next, Morning Dose. We'll be back with more news, weather, and traffic in about 20 minutes. Hope to see you then. If not, thanks for joining us and have a great day. Stay safe, everybody.